Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am BorderWise and welcome to one of the worst ideas that I've ever had, and yet I can't stop doing it. So I was messing around with lasers, well, twice actually, some time ago and then again more recently, in the sense that I was thinking, can you just put the whole laser system on the turret, on a turret block itself? And you can. And one thing led to another, and I have just ended up making a kind of turret template, so to speak, which I really like doing for some reason. This is not a tutorial, in case anyone's wondering, because there's literally no reason to do these. I just really like doing it, but I fully acknowledge that it is terrible. But I feel it's worth sharing, because it's worth noting how it sometimes do be like that in creative type games like From the Depths, and that there's a thing you do that in a meta sense it sucks and yet it brings you joy. Like Mary Kondo weapons of mass destruction, they don't actually destruct that massively, but they bring joy. And so let's dissect this thing. So this is not my first example of one, this is just a good example of one. You'll notice it is a necklace turret for reasons I will go into later. It's got the slopes around it because the way that 2-meter beams work around a turret is that only the origin points counts as collision. It doesn't need to be a slope, that just looks cool because this turret isn't meta in the first place anyway. The turret cap is solid, so a good heat round will make a mess of things. There's a one-axis turret right here, which is where the laser is. The laser is covered in decoration cram barrels because even when I'm not using crams, I really like crams. And down here is a bit of an embarrassing mess. So, this is an exact 5x5 laser system. And the Tetris for lasers gets harder if you insist on sticking it in a turret well like this. Like you were making a cram cannon or advanced cannon. So it's not easier to do this. So, you have to ask why I need to do that. You also... you'd also need a hell of a lot of couplers in order to do this, otherwise things are weird. And, yeah, the problem with doing this, there's no advantage to it, but there's a lot of problems. Firstly, in a 5x5 space, or rather a 7x7 space, which this is, so you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is the width of this turret. You could make a much bigger and better laser system and have it be a pretty flawless cube shape. And as I've mentioned in other videos, anything apart from aesthetics, the closer to a cube shape your system is, the more volume efficient it is, because the natural shape of From the Depths is a cube. This is a voxel game, it is based around cube shapes. And this turret is not very cube shaped, it has to be more round, so arguably anything that's more square is more volume efficient, and this is not. So yeah, there's also the fact that in order to, have a bit of, in order to use this secondary 360 elevation turret, you need a laser transceiver, and you'll need that anyway if this was just a 2-axis turret, and this was just hidden completely within the hull and not on a turret at all. So really no practical purpose to this. I like making this because it looks cool, and for some reason my brain just likes it. Like I mentioned, it isn't any easier, but it does flow better. I think all the hundreds and hundreds of hours I've spent messing with cram and APS Tetris, putting it in a turret block just helps my brain a bit, and it's like, I guess you could say that, there's only 2 advantages I can think of with this, and I'm just going to shoot at something quickly. I'm going to shoot at an Atlas, because this laser isn't very strong. It's just a 1Q laser. Incidentally, yeah, none of these Q switches actually are shared between any of the couplers, because, well, that's not how this Tetris rolled out. Although, actually, yeah, it is over here. This was a moment of slight genius to make up for stupidity. And this laser isn't particularly strong, I should show you that. So it does just enough to zap through multiple beams of material at once, and it's got 85 AP, and that's just so if it's firing through smoke it isn't rendered completely useless. So yeah. So it's doing great against the Atlas, which is made of cardboard. So let's shoot at something a little bit sturdier. Let's shoot at an Alcazar. Why not? Yeah, so the one... Oh my goodness, it actually just managed to blow something up. The one advantage to doing lasers like this is... Oh yeah, I forgot. I still have that cram sound mod installed. Whoops. But yeah, so the main advantage of it is redundancy and prefab ability, I guess, and decentralization, because if you use this kind of setup, you just make a laser system and then you just copy-paste it with lots of turrets, and you just need to think about room for the turrets, and you don't need to do anything in the hull with transmitters or anything like that. So that's ease of use, I guess, is one. Redundancy, because all of these turrets have their own little laser system, and they're not shared. If a shell goes through, if a shell goes straight through this turret well, the others are completely unaffected. And yeah, so decentralized and redundant, but that's about it, really. And you can accomplish exactly the same thing without mounting on a turret, so it's very meh-meh. But I just like these things. They're cool. I don't understand why. Somebody send help. And the only reason these things are doing anything much to the Alcazar is because I spent an embarrassingly long time trying to figure out something that works well with this exact turret size. And so since the Alcazar is having a horrible, horrible day, I'm now going to show you something even worse. So just to delete all of that, and I'm going to show you the triple barrel turret. Using this exact kind of thing. So, triple-barreled laser turrets are about as useful as putting roller skates on a snake, in that the thing's not really going to go any faster, and it's kind of a daft idea. Very similar setup. So it's got these one-axis turrets up here, transmitters right below them. It's got these just 3 separate laser systems. This is extra stupid. At this point I was just saying, like, you know what would be swell? Triple laser turrets, because they don't actually work very well in From the Depths in a meta sense. There's, the Tetris in here is horrible. There's gaps here and everywhere. Blech. That's the world's loudest seagull. That's the comment section earlier saying, what are you talking about? This is cool. So anyway, let's fill that gap in there. And yeah, all of these lasers are pretty weak. So these are also 1Q lasers because, I don't know, it's either 0 or 1Q works well in here, and 0Q lasers, unless they're big, really don't do much because their damage is scattered around all the place. And yeah, just so you know, Q switches are expensive, so if you can help it, you really shouldn't spam laser couplers like this. So this is expensive. This does not a hell of a lot for its cost. Mainly it's just, I don't even know. Like the redundancy, decentralization, and what was the other thing? And like the ease of use, that's pushing it. You can accomplish the same thing with prefabs and just separate laser systems. So yeah, and this thing sucks, but it's fun to watch. So if we have, say, a mod, and of course, like, you can just make this a lot bigger. I could make this like twice as tall and it would be a-okay. Also, I should mention as well that for these 1Q lasers, in order to... Why did I do that? In order to make sure they do as much damage per shot, they hold their fire if the energy is below 100%, which is just a handy way of, like, making a laser that does a lot per shot. A lot per shot, that rhymes. And we are actually doing something, but I keep getting pleasantly surprised by that modded cram sound. Very pleasantly surprised. So, yeah. This is a weird thing. Very weird. Very, very weird. So let's just, I don't know, let's spam it some more. Because why not? I'm not sure what this video is. It's basically just happily discussing things in From the Depths that suck but are fun anyway. So yeah, if you want to make a cool aesthetic laser battleship, I guess you could do worse than this. I mean, to be perfectly honest, you really don't need to do this. this turret cap here, that's, you know, that could be your turret in itself, and it could just be a turret on its own, and the laser system connects from underneath. I've in fact, this isn't the first time I've shown this. I believe there was a Let's Build I did some time ago for a campaign that I didn't end up doing, where I was making... Actually, I can show you. I can show you right the heck now. It should be in here somewhere. Where is it? Where is it? It's somewhere here? Where did I do the thing? Oh yeah, it's bootleg something. Here we go. This is what I did. This thing, as a prototype, you see this laser up here? Oh, let's do Scarlet Dawn colors. That's a good idea. Ta-da! So that laser on top there, you'll notice that, actually, let's hop on the Scarlet Bird. I need to go do more examples of that. So, damn, this was actually a really good build. I should have continued with this. Anyway, so you'll notice that the laser here, very similar setup to this. It's basically the same pancake shape. It's got that same 2-axis thing in there. But the laser system is much more sensible because... Why are you falling into the ground? That's silly. Stop doing that. That's silly and dumb. Don't do that. What was I talking about? So yeah, this is the more sensible, sane version of what I was showing you over there. And that laser actually is a bit better than what I've shown you over there. And it's got missiles, which is nice. So yeah, this is about... Ah yeah, this is essentially a burst laser. Because it... Oh, how about that? The thing's dead. Meanwhile, these things over here... These things are kind of crap, so I'm just going to yank you out of play and let's shoot at... They can aim all the way up though, and that's pretty neat. But again, that's no real advantage. You can do that with other things. Let's shoot at a thruster craft. Because the Onyx Watch has a lot of thruster craft now. So yeah, that is some pretty fun yet... Well, it's terrible but inexplicably fun lasers, and I think these are some of the better turret caps I've ever made. They look interesting and round and cool, and they've got lots of slopes, I guess. Let's put camo on them. Metal, okay, hashtag camo, red, 1. Yeah, that looks groovy. We're actually doing, some damage here. I need to do more cram videos simply because of that modded sound. It looks dope. Alright, so anyway, that'll do for this. This is a fun vid. I guess it's not anything remotely useful or practical. I just wanted to show you some terrible lasers that I think were fun and interesting. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Support me on Patreon or YouTube membership if you like. It really helps, and there's fun perks in it for you. Thank you to all my current supporters, and I will see you next time in From the Depths. Farewell.